Welcome back to Exceptional Undergrads, a podcast where we interview successful students and explore how they achieve successes at a young age. Be sure to check out our show notes at exceptionalundergrads.com for all resources mentioned in today's episode. Today I welcome Athan Wright to the show. Athan's a junior at Duke University, currently studying abroad in Japan, where he's been able to shift his attention to growing his YouTube channel and personal brand. He's amassed over 400,000 views and over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. In my conversation with Athan, he provided us with lessons and challenges associated with doing YouTube as a student and his mindset behind his YouTube grind. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Athan Wright. Athan, how's it going, my friend?
Yo, what's up? It's going good. Going good.
Good to see you. Would you like to start us off here and just tell us a little bit about yourself here?
My name is Athan. I am a junior at Duke. Right now I'm in Japan. I'm spending my junior year abroad in Japan. So I go to this little school called ICU, really fun. And I'm just, living life.
Dude, that's awesome. And you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Currently have like 3.7K subscribers, something small right now. But I've been doing that for a while, like 3 years.
That's awesome. I want to dive into that a bunch today. I've got a whole bunch of questions on YouTube. I feel like you could really have a wealth of knowledge for everybody. And I want to tap into that and just kind of, see what comes of it. I feel like this could be a good time.
Yeah. Okay. I should say this. Every day, I'm just obsessed with YouTube, and it's all I think about. So this is like the most fun conversation I could be having right now.
Perfect. That's all we're gonna do. You want to just get us started and kind of tell us about how your YouTube journey began?
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So my YouTube journey originally began when I was in high school, and I started with this college reaction video, and it was just me reacting to all the colleges I got into. That's a video I had been kind of watching ever since I was in like middle school, elementary school, just people reacting to getting accepted into college. And then I was finally on the other side of that. So that was really cool. And then I started my like actual YouTube grind on the first day of college. So literally move-in day at Duke, I was filming videos and just on the grind. I posted my move-in day video a day after I moved in because I was on the grind. So literally from day one. And then like that following week, I like filmed every single day, and I posted like a daily vlog for a week, which was a lot. It was super tough, but I've just kind of been obsessed with YouTube since day one. And since then, I've just been on this grind. I've posted like 70 plus videos so far, improving with every single video. And now I've been able to really earn my 3,700 subscribers. Really grateful for each and every one of them. And I truly believe that I'm on the path to 100K. It's just a matter of time. I just believe that internally.
That's awesome. So you can't react to colleges and what you got in, which colleges you got into all the time. That's really only the first video. What was kind of the rest of the channel about? Or what have you done so far on the channel throughout these 70 videos? Give us some context.
Yeah, okay. So you're so right. Tons of people, they do the college reaction video, they react, and then they kind of want to be a YouTuber, but they don't really know what YouTube videos to make, and they kind of just die off. But since the beginning, I always knew I wanted to start off with college vlogs, okay? Because the only YouTube I ever watched in high school was like people in college, because like that, I was just obsessed with getting to college. So that's all I watched. And I always knew like I wanted to be on the other side of that, like make college videos. So that's kind of why I was like all in from day one and just vlogging. So yeah, I didn't say this, but my videos were college vlogs. That's kind of what they were about in the beginning. So it's like day in the life at Duke. how to get into Duke, just a lot of lifestyle type content surrounded around the college. Um, that's what it was. And then now I'm in Japan. So I've kind of like elevated my content a little bit more. And now my content is also kind of lifestyle in Japan, but I'm also like a big anime nerd. And every time I watch an anime, my like dream has been maybe to like be in that anime. But like, of course, you can't like be in an anime. But I was like, okay, what if I kind of make my own anime? Like, that would be fun. So now in this little YouTube space that I have with my 3,700 subscribers, I have kind of my own little anime, and I'm doing all these fun things and kind of just exploring the world here in Japan, and having a really fun time.
That's fun. So you started off with vlogs in college. So was there a point in time whenever you just started doing this where you kind of like got some weird looks from people having it be your first week of college and you're just like standing around with the camera like kind of filming everything? How did that go down?
100%, 100%. It's like so difficult to film in public when you've never done it before, because literally, I'm just like, hello, so hey guys, today right now I'm at the gym, and then all these people are looking at me. Um, so it was definitely like an awkward fit at first, but the what as I first of all, as I did it more, I got more used to it, and I was able to like stop worrying about what other people think of me. And then also, I noticed the secret is literally just to focus on what I'm doing and just to look at the camera, and just be present with the camera. Because the minute I'm like not looking at the camera and like watching how other people are reacting at me, like it's over. That just the action of like looking at other people and seeing what they think of me is me giving into the perception of people. And it's only until like the only way to really not care what other people are thinking is literally to not care, not even look, and just focus on what you're doing. So that's kind of my mentality going forward. Like, if I want to film, I just focus on getting the shot and the shots that I need. And I'm so focused on into that I'm not even embarrassed or looking at what other people are thinking.
That's kind of something that I notice myself actually whenever I film podcasts. I was saying to Athan beforehand, before we just started this one, that my room has basically glass doors on the side beforehand. So anyone can look in and just see me recording all the time. And sometimes I get some weird looks because I have like a full microphone and like I'm looking at a camera and stuff like that. And I find that really funny. And as long as I just stay dialed in on speaking to whoever I'm speaking to or listening to them or looking at notes or whatnot, there's no embarrassment at all. To the point now where I'm just getting to where it literally doesn't matter. It's just fun for me to just be here on podcasts because I feel
100%.
like that's
And
just the vibe.
100%. And you'll notice too, like, people like respect you for just going all in. Like you're kind of like on your path, and people are going to get out of their way for you to if you have a path. Um, yeah, that's just to add to that.
Nice. So how would you come up with these vlog ideas? Or were you just vlogging like your daily activities or were you specifically going out of your way to make random cool content? What's the behind the scenes of coming up with videos at college?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. I would say that in the beginning of my college career, it was very easy to come up with content because like every day is like a new experience for me. And a big part of what I wanted to do was allow people that aren't in college at the moment to like experience how college is and experience all the new things. So it's just me. So literally, like, yeah, it's like, okay, this is my first class. This is my first time going out in college. A bunch of just experiences that I never experienced before that I always wanted to as a high schooler. And then, now that I'm here in Japan, it's a lot of the same things. Like, my moving to Japan video, that was just incredible. Like the whole experience of like going to a new country, it has its ups and downs. It's a whole arc. So that was just a beautiful video. Very proud of that. And then the first week after coming to Japan, it was also very easy to get videos because everything is like a whirlwind, getting used to this completely new country, new language. Um, so actually, my first like like 10 videos that I posted since coming to Japan um, were filmed in like the first week of coming to Japan, which is like crazy when you think about it. Um, and then I kind of got into a rut, to be honest, because there's only so many. Once you kind of get into a routine, like you can't really make a day in the life. You can make one day in the life, but like if you make another one, it's going to be the exact same day. So like no, people don't really want to watch that. And that's kind of how uh, that was kind of my arc because, right, I came into Japan the first week, everything was crazy. I was filming so much. But like week 2, week 3, I started to get in a routine. And I filmed a video about my routine, but like I couldn't really film another video because it was just the same type of video. So I did struggle a bit with figuring out types of content that I should make. So I didn't post like any videos in all of December um, because I was just going through this struggle, uh, and and it's difficult for like a lifestyle content vlogger like I am um, to find good videos ideas and continually to make content. This is a problem you see with like most lifestyle vloggers. Like people I look up to is like Elliot Choi. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I
Kelly
haven't.
Wakasa, Kyo Sang. There's a lot of like lifestyle vloggers, and they make great videos, but it's pretty sporadic because again, there's only so many videos you can make about your routine that doesn't really change. Um, so that was a problem I got into, and it wasn't until January that I was kind of able to maybe pivot a little bit to the point of uh, maybe telling my own stories and giving my own perspective on my life, and that's kind of like where my passion to make my own anime comes from. I was like, okay, I want to kind of make my own anime. Like, how would I do that? I have my little narrator who helps me out. He comments about my life, and we just have a fun dynamic. And I'm just living life with this very happy, kid-like look on the world. And that's kind of, and I was like, this is kind of what I want to do. I want to make videos where I'm just exploring the world. Everything is just so fun, and now all my videos, I'm having so much fun with all the videos. Like this last video, I just did this anime challenge. I did like 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and a 10-kilometer run because I saw that in an anime, and I was like, oh, this would be fun to do. It wasn't fun to do. It was a lot, but at the end it was fun because it was like, okay, I did it, and it was just a cool challenge that I could have done. And yeah, a lot of my videos now is like kind of me doing maybe more challenges, just having more fun and kind of exploring Japan a little bit in my own little anime-like way.
Do you plan out your uploads like in advance?
Uh, so in terms of schedule, I have a schedule. I post every Sunday. It's 12 a.m. for me, but it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my whole goal is to just hit upload videos by that time every single week, no matter what. Um, excuse me. My greater goal actually is to post 40 videos in the next 6 months, which I don't know how I'm going to do because it's already a lot to just post one video a week. But to hit this 40 video goal, I have 24 weeks to do that, just about. So some weeks I'm going to have to post like 2 or 3 videos in a week. Which is not going to be easy, but I'm just going to go. I'm all in on YouTube, so I just kind of want to push myself, challenge myself, and see if I can do this.
Are you editing the stuff yourself?
I'm editing everything myself. I use Premiere Pro, um, and if anyone is out there that like wants to learn how to edit but doesn't know how, I was in their shoes. I was never an editor. I never thought I'd be an editor, but now I'd say that I can hold my own against most editors just because I've been continuously editing for the past 3+ years. So I've become an editor, which is again so weird because I never really was good at anything like artistic or maybe telling stories or editing. I never did any of that in high school, um, but but out of necessity, basically, I learned how to use Premiere Pro. I learned how to add music. I learned how to cut. I learned how to add effects. And with every video, I've just been slowly and slowly and slowly improving. And I've posted 70 plus videos. So I'm at a point now where this Premiere Pro, which is like this beast of a software, is nothing to me. I can eat it for breakfast, you know.
Do you have any cool tips that people could use to increase or learn Premiere Pro a little bit quicker?
Yes, I do. Um, my biggest tip would be to follow a pro online, I guess. Um, I okay, actually, let me change that. My biggest tip is to just try and make videos, and then when you don't know something, look that up. That's how I've been able to learn everything I know in Premiere Pro. Because like, okay, I want to add a picture on Premiere Pro. I don't know how to do that, and I just look up like, how do you add a picture? This is literally the most basic thing. But at a point, I didn't even know how to do that. And then now I'm kind of getting into more complicated things like my what is it? Okay, I'm like experimenting now with making my voice sound better and just sound design. And the way I learned that is literally just like, how do you make your voice sound like a sexy radio talk show host, you know? And I looked that up. I'm like, oh, is that how I do it? And then I try it out, and I don't sound sexy at all. But like, okay, let me try something else. And it's just like that continual process of just trying to do things and looking it up to do it. I take it. I'm sure you do something similar with your podcast as well.
I edit in Premiere Pro as well. I think something that you mentioned right there, just the fact that it's like if you don't know how to do it, look it up online. There's so much content out there nowadays to know exactly what you need to do in Premiere Pro. That's how I started editing all my stuff. I just plopped the stuff into Premiere Pro and started trying to mess around with it. Anytime I needed anything, I just looked up like to do what how to clip a video in Premiere Pro or how to whatever in Premiere Pro. And then nowadays on Google, it does this really cool thing where it literally provides you with the video and then sends you right into the clip that you need, and then you literally just follow it.
Mm.
And then they also have preset settings as well. I'm sure that you probably know about this, but there's preset settings where you can just like drag the stuff on and it'll like do the different like like
Oh,
whooshes and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I hit the mic. I hit the mic, guys. But
yeah.
like the different transitions and things like that that you can do, and you like don't even have to know how to do it. But I noticed through doing those animations and whatnot that there's different ways that I can like mess with the stuff and make it do different speeds and stuff. And I'm not doing anything crazy for editing, but I've noticed that if you need anything, you can pretty much just look all of it up and it works out well.
Yeah, exactly.
A big part of YouTube videos is thumbnails. How were your thumbnails made so that you're able to get more people to click on your videos?
That's a great question. You're exactly right. Thumbnails are so important in YouTube videos because if people don't like your thumbnail, they're not even going to click on your video, no matter how good it is. You know. Uh, so I've been go- I've I have this whole perspective on thumbnails that I've just been building with every single video that I've made. You know, I would say my first like 60 thumbnails are trash or they're not that good. And I've only kind of just now been able to start finding my rhythm with thumbnails. Um, oh man, there's so much. Okay, so first of all, your philosophy for thumbnails you should have a consistent format in some way, because the whole problem with YouTube, or your whole goal with YouTube or social media in general, is that you want to be creating a community of people. You don't want to have just like one viral video, right? Because we're in this day and age now where like anyone can go viral and have like their 15 seconds of fame. But if you actually want to make a career off of YouTube, what is going to allow you to do that is having your like 1,000 true fans. And you have to like really like build that community, right? And that's not going to happen from like a viral video. You have to start. The only way it's going to happen is if you're consistently able to provide uh, uh, if you're consistently able to provide value to your audience in a similar format. So you'll notice that all the best creators, they have a format. They have a format to the point where an audience knows that when they click on this type of creator's video, they know exactly what they're going to get. They know they're going to laugh, or they know they're going to learn, or they know that they're going to be inspired. Just because this every creator has nailed this format down that is going to bring a certain type of audience to them. And I'm getting a little like meta here, but this is such an important thing to understand when you're creating your thumbnails, because again, the thumbnails are just so important to your YouTube videos. So for me, we can take my thumbnails, for example. I am going for maybe a more lifestyle type of thumbnail. It's me, it's Japan background, and it's aesthetic. And that's kind of my 3 promises that I make to my audience at the moment, right? That my audience right now is coming for me. They're coming for me to experience some new thing in my little anime style. They're coming for Japan, and then they're coming for this beautiful aesthetic that I provide, this beautiful story, and the music that I provide. So that's kind of my philosophy with thumbnails. And you'll notice, if you notice with all the thumbnails, you can look, I'm building the series, and every thumbnail has a similar like color grade to it. And in 5 months from now, I'm going to have these 40 videos, and it's going to signify this specific part of my life that was very important to me, and that people can watch back and binge watch however they want. And yeah, this is something that I've only been able to really grow into recently. I've had my ups and downs with this, because so many other YouTubers, especially like the meta nowadays, is to have like this very brightly colored, like spectacle looking thumbnail. Like you think of like Mr. Beast, and it's like completely unrealistic, right? So like as a creator, I sometimes feel pressure. It's like, I need to have that crazy thumbnail as well. Like I should have me like or something, like just like not exactly. It's like I moved to Japan and met these Japanese people. It's just like me like yelling at a Japanese person or something. That's weird. Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird. Like, so the reason I'm not like doing that and like following what everyone else is doing is because I'm like, I internally know my content, and I know like the type of community that I'm trying to build, and that's what's able to kind of dictate my thumbnails. So.
You mentioned 1,000 true fans. This is something that I've looked into heavily. Where did you learn that from? And tell me some more about it.
Yeah, so I feel like everyone's heard of the term 1,000 true fans, maybe, but I heard about it, but I actually didn't know this. It's comes from just like this like 2-page article. It's a very short article that basically just talks about this idea of 1,000 true fans, which means that as an artist, if you want to make a living from your art, all you need is just 1,000 people that will basically buy everything that you make, that are like your true fans. And you're able to make a living. You're able to have a life just based off of these 1,000 true fans. And if you look at creators nowadays, it's actually crazy. You have so many TikTokers with millions of followers, so many YouTubers that are going crazy on shorts, and they'll have like hundreds of thousands of followers, but they put a product out or they tell their fans to do something and they'll get like 5 people to do it. Like they don't have a community at all. They don't have any true fans. Um, and you're consistently seeing people with like maybe 10,000 subscribers have be able to make a living from just their 10,000 subscribers, as opposed to the million subscriber person. They can't make a living at all because they don't have a community. And in this day and age where everyone is basically a creator, what sets you apart is the connection that your audience feels with you. Because everyone can get eyeballs, and everyone does get eyeballs on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, but it's most important that you can get eyeballs that like stay with you and that feel connected with you. You know, that you're nodding your head. I can see that. I feel like you agree.
No, 100%. You just bring up a couple things that I looked into a while ago, and I want to tell you all about them because I feel like but I feel like it'd just be valuable for you. Okay, the first thing, and I have notes on this, which is great. I'm
Hit
so
me.
glad. I haven't looked at these in like forever. I think what you're talking about whenever you say like the people who have millions of followers, they end up with no money because they don't connect with their audience. This is the concept that I have written down that's called likes ain't cash, which basically means that likes and followers are not inherently valuable, but wealth and real money is actually much more important than any sort of social media metrics that you have, and that subscribers don't correlate to money. It's people who have there are people who have 10 times less subscribers making so much more money because they monetize better, and they do exactly what we were just talking about beforehand, which is my other notes, which is the 1,000 true fans note. And you're supposed to basically pick Alex Hermosi. He talks about like having like an avatar, so I like to use that term, but having essentially like a true fan or an avatar that you have that's like super specific, that you just make the content for them, directly
Mm.
tailored to them. And what I have written down here actually is this, which I'm glad that I'm looking at this because I haven't seen it in a little bit, but it's like helping me
Uh,
like get back on my vibe that I
right.
needed. Just perfect. I'm so glad that you're here. But it's the I wrote down for myself tip: when you're making content, speak to your best friend, not the audience. It makes the person feel special. And then like I'll make all decisions based on the true fan that really loves you. It says we make our products sick to the true fan so that it makes it irresistible to them. And if they're one of them, then they're gonna buy one of the stuff. And that's how you grow and you monetize better.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I agree with all those things, especially the part about like speaking to your best friend, because ultimately, um, you know, like for me when I'm making my content, I'm making it for uh, I'm imagining someone on the other side of the camera because there's people on the other side of the camera. So I'm literally speaking to them when I'm making the content. And it's because I'm able to imagine those people that I'm able to make better content because I kind of know what these people want. Because ultimately, like I was one of those people. It's like I wanted to see how Japan was. I wanted to see this beautiful aesthetics. So I'm literally speaking to that every time I'm making any of my videos.
I think a cool thing that I was just thinking of is the fact that you making content, there's so many other people who will make content like similar to yours. Like how you said beforehand that you were inspired by these other vloggers, and even myself, there's other podcasts that make stuff that are kind of similar to this or at different levels. The cool thing about all of this is that you can make content for people, and just because you make content doesn't necessarily mean that you're hurting any other sort of creators. You can have people who subscribe to different channels and like your stuff as well as other people's stuff, and it's not inherently hurting anybody else to have someone be subscribed to both of your channels. So if you just put out content that targets that one true fan who also happens to like other things that happen to be similar, I feel like everybody else benefits. And I think sometimes people have this like scarcity mindset of the fact that like if I if someone else is being successful, it's taking away from my success. And I feel like something that I think that you're realizing as well is when you kind of like let this thing go and just sort of say like, I'm just gonna make content. I'm gonna make content. I mean, for myself, but like for this one specific person who's one of my like one of one like avatar people, exactly who I want it to be. And you just say like, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. I'm just gonna hit the nail on the head for this guy and make it absolutely outstanding for him. Bam. That's when the growth starts to happen. That's when stuff starts to actually go your way. Because I mean, even over the past couple of days, I realized this. Not specifically from a content perspective, but just from the perspective of, let's just lay back, just kind of be open to stuff, just like talk to more people, just start talking to people in the sense of like, you know, kind of like the thousand true fans type thing. Not exactly. I'm kind of
Mm.
drawing away from it a little bit, but my point in this is, being open and just kind of letting things happen and attracting them in. And I mean that from the sense of like for content, in the sense of like just making content specifically for the specific person, and then everything else just kind of unfolds exactly how it's supposed to be.
It's not a zero sum game. Like life is not a zero
Yeah.
sum game. You know,
Hmm.
a rising tide raises all boats. And I feel like once you're able to realize that, you're able to get so much more out of life in whatever you do. I've seen that so much in YouTube, like I originally was, especially in the beginning, I was like, okay, if this guy goes viral, that's taking away somehow from my viral abilities. Like only one of us can make it, and that's such a false statement. There's so much success to go around, so much winning to go around, and I've just seen it time and time and time again. I actually had a most recent example where this new YouTuber in Japan, he made a video about his experience in Japan, and it was like his first video, and that video ended up getting like 60,000 views in like a week, which is like crazy. I've never seen those numbers, and uh, in the same period, my Japan videos actually got even more views because of because his video was suggesting my video because it was his only video. So YouTube started suggesting my Japan videos, and I literally saw like the biggest spike in my channel's history so far because his video did so well. And a lot of my videos are in like this Japan niche. And so the Japan niche just getting bigger and other people doing well makes people watch my videos as well. So yeah, I couldn't agree more with this mindset that you're talking about.
The way that you put it with like when the tide raises, it raises all boats. I feel like that's such a fantastic way to say it, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because in one of my classes, I took the notebook out of my bag. Dang it. But it was one of my classes. I'm not going to reveal the actual class. I'm not going to reveal the teacher or whatnot in case she somehow sees this. But it
Oh, it's
was
a
they
bad
were
thing.
yeah, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Yeah. She basically said the other day that basically someone like gets the short end of the stick and everything, like all the time. Like if someone's winning, there's somebody else who's losing. It was some like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, it was a little bit different, but I remember sitting there, I'm sitting front row, and I'll speak up nowadays, but like not anything crazy. But I remember thinking in my head, and I was really like, that's not true. That's not true. Because anyone, whether it's YouTube is a great example of this, just content in general, where people will literally like something on Instagram, scroll down to a competitor account, a competitor, quote unquote competitor account, and then immediately like the next one and be following both of them. They're both winning. You're not taking away from each other with the thing. Like that's a great example. But just in general, like monetization for anything, me having and selling a product or whatnot, even if I sell a product that's like super similar to the other people, like me doing that doesn't necessarily hurt them in a sense. I mean, I guess it can, like a bunch, but like generally, there's so many people out there that me getting my 1,000 sales from my 1,000 true fans and them getting their 1,000 sales, like it's not really hurting you that much, because
Mhm.
what people forget to realize, or I guess they don't even realize at all, like not even forget, is that there's with the internet nowadays, And the fact that we have like 8 billion people on this earth, you basically have like unlimited sales of or unlimited views that anybody can see and just stumble upon your content, and then they're going to stick around. The thing about it is people don't hit, it's like marketing. It's like marketing on like Facebook ads. There's a way to do that where you can like target the people, but sometimes it takes a little while to like target the exact audience that you need. And then once you have that, boom, like you scale a bunch. And it's like people send out their stuff, like think about it from like a broadened thing so much that they forget the fact that if they just dial in their scope to the people who really want it and really like the things, they're just going to keep getting people to buy it. It's just waiting. I don't want to say like waiting for the stuff, but like being persistent enough to continue to keep going while you haven't exactly hit that exact niche that you want, because it's only a matter of time before everyone's going to find the content that you have or find the product that you're trying to sell, and then it blows up. It's like you said, anybody can go viral randomly. Of course they can. But if you can continue to put out that content and be persistent with it, round of applause. That's where it
Yeah,
comes together.
yeah. Oh man, what you talking just had I had so many thoughts in my mind because you hit so many trigger points for me of brilliance. Um, First of all, I want to go back to this teacher. I don't know if they're a female or male, but I'm going to say they, because you know
it's a
we're
it's a girl. It's a girl.
it's a girl. Okay, okay. I'll
Yeah,
I'll
you can
I'll
say
I'll, I'll gender them now. You know, I don't want to misgender this guy or this girl. But it's so interesting what your teacher said, what she said, because um, I feel like she was. Yeah, so I agree with you. She's completely wrong. But in her stance, she was right because you kind of get out of the world what you put in. So if you believe something, like you're gonna find that's the truth. Like if you believe that you're gonna fail, like you're gonna fail. But if you believe you're gonna win, you're going to win. So she believes this world is it's only one person's gonna win, and no one else can win. And I feel like maybe I don't know. She might be a little bit cynical about life, but but I'm sure my stance is that if she took a different mindset and she realized that this world is not a zero sum game and that everyone can win together, that she would able to find more success in life. That's just my personal opinion. And I'm saying that because I know it to be true. Because the moment I start giving and giving and giving to more people around me and just trying to help other people succeed as well, I've gotten so much more back in life. And it's just been such a great and wonderful experience. The second thing that really lit a light bulb for me, what was it? I wrote it down. I didn't want to forget it. Okay, yeah. I also believe that uh, like for me, I feel like I'm just biding my time until I'm going to match with my right audience, like you said, like how your like audience is just waiting to be found. And basically, my whole philosophy on my YouTube channel right now is that yes, I know I'm going to get to 100,000 subscribers one day. I know I'm going to get to a million one day, and it's just a matter of my audience finally being connected to the content that I'm putting out. So all I'm doing right now is just making the best content that I can make, and I know that one day the people that I have been making this content for are going to find it, and YouTube is going to connect them, and all my videos are just going to rise. Because that's already been happening on a small scale. This is interesting. This goes into YouTube statistics a little bit, but my first few videos they didn't get they did okay. They did okay for my channel, but like retention wise, I was surprised. I thought it would be higher, but I was getting maybe like 30% retention on all my videos, which I was not happy with. I was like, dang, I have to change it up. And I end up changing it up. I just try different things and just try to figure out how to really get my audience. But then fast forward to like 4 months after I posted my videos, these videos have been consistently getting views since the moment I posted them. And the retention actually goes crazy up with time, which I've never seen before. My retention
Ooh.
from now it has my retention from back then, which was like 30%, is now like 60+%, which is the craziest thing. I have a video that's at like 70% for like most of the video. Because what's happening is people are finding like my first video, the moving to Japan, and they're just in love. And then they start binge watching the full series. And I have so many comments of people that say like on my first video, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I just found your channel. This is crazy." And then like 3 hours later, I see them at my most recent video. They're just like, "I just binge watched your whole channel. I can't believe I haven't seen this before." And I that's who I'm making my content for. I'm making my content for those people that I know are just gonna connect with this when they see it. They just aren't being exposed to it right now.
I think that's exactly what we're talking about. It's just letting those people find you, just attracting them into your life. Have you heard of the law of attraction before?
I know of it, but I haven't officially learned of it.
Okay, you gotta dive into this. This is gonna be huge for you. It's the law of attraction. I'm quoting this from the Success Principle, so I get it correct. That's what I was looking for. So, stated in its most basic form, the law of attraction says what you think about, talk about, believe strongly about, and feel intensely about, you will bring about. Meaning, because our thoughts are made up of energy, they can impact our physical world. So, it's you thinking about any of the stuff. This is literally what I do. I'm being dead serious telling you about it. Every single morning for the past 2.5 years, I've written down in my journal, I'm attracting the right people, places, things, ideas, circumstances, and opportunities. I trust and believe that they will come at the right time. Every single day. And as I've progressed through this and made myself a better person and really leaned into that, I've attracted literally everything that I need. And every single day, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna attract something like really well into my life today. Like it's just coming. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's gonna be a person. I don't know if it's gonna be some random idea. I don't know it's gonna come to me, but it's eventually gonna come. And just being open to that. Next thing I know, boom, this is the person that I just randomly met. They're awesome. Now I'm talking to them. Fantastic. Or I stumble upon your YouTube channel or LinkedIn profile randomly. I'm like, this dude's awesome. Let me go and talk to him. And then you just reach out. See, because the thing that I actually realized this morning that whenever you're attracting all this stuff and the way that it's written out as well. I got this from one of my favorite musicians, artists. His name is Mike. I've been writing it down for like 2 years. I'm actually wearing his
Just
merch right
Mike?
now.
That's his.
Yeah, just Mike. I'll send you the
Okay.
thing. It's cool. But
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
he got me on like some of this wave like really early on, and then I just happened to just continue along with it, which worked out well. But yeah, I happen to be wearing his stuff too right now. Shout out Mike, we love
Oh.
him. But he the order, I noticed the order specifically this morning whenever I was walking to go and get breakfast. So it states out like I'm attracting the right people, and after people it's places. So it's like you find the people and then you're gonna find the places. Then it's
Mm.
people, places, things. So it's like at the places with the right people, you're gonna find the right things. Those things are gonna bring about the right ideas. And then once you have that stuff together, people, places, things, ideas, circumstances, then in the right circumstances with everything, then you're going to attract those right opportunities. And when you have those opportunities, boom, you've already attracted the opportunity you need. Take action.
Oh, that's
So that's
so
something
good.
I never realized that. And I don't know if he meant to do that a while ago whenever he said the thing and I found it, but just logically thinking through that and just being like, wait, this is exactly the circle. So it's like you find those right people, you find the right places, find the right idea, find the right things, find the right ideas in the right circumstances, you attract the right opportunities. And then boom, you take action and you get it all. And I think that's the
Right.
biggest thing. And I told it to actually not this level of comprehension. I haven't said this to anybody else besides you. And I actually was talking to one of my buddies last night at dinner. He was telling me about how he loves going on adventures and traveling. He was saying like, man, I want to one day go on adventures and be traveling around and I want to have like an amazing girlfriend with me. I was like, bro, go and travel right now. Just go out and travel. whether that's going to cities, going to wherever the heck you want to go and travel, and then just attract this person into your life. Because the place that you said, I told him, I was like, the place that you're going to find this person that you're really looking for, that you really think is going to connect with you, is somewhere else where they're also already going out and traveling, and then you're just
Right,
going to find
right.
each other. It's
That is so good.
like bringing this back to YouTube, make it more relevant, of course. You putting out content, and I think this is why they always tell you, dude, just throw the content out there. You need to stop overthinking it and just put your content out there. Just start. Because the people that are watching, yes, maybe they'll complain, maybe you'll get no viewers, maybe all of this stuff will happen, like nothing will happen essentially. And it's like, well, I mean, number one, it doesn't matter because no one's watching it. So there you go. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But then
exactly.
which is number one. Like you got to get over that hurdle for your self-belief right there. But number two is the fact that you're slowly attracting the right people who are going to watch that and the right viewers, your 1,000 true fans. And once they find that, like you literally just said, they find your Japan video, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then they go through and binge watch everything. And then now they're watching everything all the time. Because I mean, for most people, I feel like if you can get them just be continuing to watch the content, continuing to do a lot of stuff, they're really hooked on things. At least this is what I've done myself. If I find like an account on Instagram or on YouTube that I just like their videos, I'll just keep watching them. Even if a lot of the stuff switches, like you just become like a loyal, true fan to the people. And I think that's insane. Just the way that just comprehending that, if you can find a way to just keep, I think you do a good job of it saying you're like on your grind for YouTube all the time. Like this is the only thing that you think about. I think that's showing. It's only a matter of time before everything's going to take off even more and you'll hit your goals. But I think finding and just keeping like that goal or like a burning desire of like things that you want in your life, like to come to you, and don't try and chase after them, but let them kind of come to you, but be open to them coming to you, and just take these opportunities whenever they come. Because like you can do it. Like anyone can. It's just you got to have the awareness to just attract everything. And like I do this body language thing where they just open up my
Mm.
body like this,
Staying
and
open,
I'll just
yeah.
do that, like staying open, like literally like staying open. And then it just next thing you know, boom, it's here and you're good.
Right. No, you again hit it right on the head. You said so many things that I believe, and it's so interesting because I feel like there are so many truths in this world, um, but the truths are have so many different ways to look at the truth. So, for example, like I agree with you about having this mindset of doing the thing that you want to do and then attracting the people that are doing the same thing. And I've originally seen it as kind of like you're like the average of the 5 people that you most interact with. That's kind of exactly what you're saying, but just in a different way. Because, and I've seen it in myself. I have become this person that is so obsessed with YouTube that like a lot of the people that I talk to most are content creators, and it's actually crazy. There's so many like YouTubers I've looked up to, and basically like all the biggest people that I've looked up to, I am now friends with. I now have a connection with, and it's actually crazy. Like before I started YouTube, I never thought that I'd get to meet this guy named Gox who has like 2 million subscribers. My actual I never thought I'd be able to meet him. I never thought I'd be able to meet Elliot Choi, who literally I binge watched all his college vlogs and everything. He's the reason I started YouTube. I never thought I'd be able to meet this guy, Kyo Sang. He has like 200K. Elliot has 1 million. There's so many creators that I've been able to meet because I'm doing YouTube, because we are kind of in the same space now, and we're all kind of doing the same things, and we just happen to bump into each other just because we're both doing the same things. So like uh, yeah, it's crazy. And like Keo, he's like a subscriber of my videos, and he'll like sometimes comment. He'll like message me now. It's like, oh, I really liked your video, which is the craziest thing because I've literally looked up to these guys, and then now they're here. Like I'm interacting with them and really having a relationship, and that kind of just goes back to like you never know who's watching. And it's so easy
Mm.
to just worry about the numbers and forget that there's like a person behind the numbers. So like a video might get like only 1,000 views. Okay, 1,000 views is like 1,000 people, right? But one of those people could be like your idol. Like for me, one of those 1,000 people was my inspirations: Keo, Gox, Elliot, and I've just that's just been so wonderful for me. And then now again, I am just surrounded by other creators that are actually making a living off of YouTube. I have so many other creator friends. So I really feel that like with utter certainty that one day I'm also going to be able to make a living um, off of YouTube, just like all my friends are doing. So, yeah.
I want to let's dive back into a couple more like more a little bit more YouTube focus. We kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent. We dealt it back into YouTube. I'd say we did pretty well there, but let's
We're not
switch
too
back a
bad.
little bit.
We're not too bad.
Yeah, we're not too bad, But you
Uh,
know, how do you maintain some motivation to continue to keep posting content? Because you're balancing your whole life in Japan, you're balancing going to school in an entire another country besides just life in Japan. You're completely far away from your entire family being out there alone. And you stayed for even longer than you said that you're going to, which is crazy. But I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. What really motivates you to stay disciplined, to continue to produce content and be there editing and meeting those deadlines that you have for yourself?
yeah, yeah. No, it's not easy to just continually post content and just continue to do this when it's not like working out as you want it to. I would say it's two things. The first is that since the beginning, I was crazy enough to think that I could succeed. I was just crazy enough to think that like one day I'm gonna be a famous YouTuber. And I say crazy because statistically, like maybe less than 1% of people that want to be YouTubers actually become successful and are able to make a living. So it's crazy to think that you could be one of that 1%. And then the second thing is that from the beginning, I've just kind of been in it for the long run. Like the one viral video going the one video going viral isn't it for me. It's continually building an audience over years and years and years. And that's exactly what I've done because I've been doing this consistently for the past 3.5 years. And when things aren't working out like you want them to, like they, I guess, have been for me, um, the the focus on the long term and just improving with each video is what's going to keep you going. Because like for me, let's take for me for example, because I'm talking about myself. But every video I feel like that I post has the potential to get like 100,000 views. Every single video, and I've thought this since the very first video, and and then they don't. They get maybe like less than 1,000 views, and for like most people that would be a very demoralizing thing to to continually be disappointed with every video that you make. Um, and at times it is for me. It's like, okay, why am I not getting all these views? But it's only when I'm able to just think about the long term, think about the compounding effects of just continually improving on something and continually doing it, and just valuing just the improvement, just the journey that has really been able to help motivate me through this entire process. Because at my center, I believe that I'm going to make it. That's like just part of my DNA that I think I'm going to make it, and I think that's going to happen as long as I'm improving with every video. So I've just got to the point where, yeah, as long as I am just able to improve to get better in some way with every single video, like of course I'm going to make it. And that's kind of my mentality.
I got a couple of things for you here. The first one, immediately whenever you started talking, after like a few lines, was it's only delusional until it works. You feel like you said, it's so crazy for people to think like to actually become a full YouTuber, to be super successful in your thing. But I think it's only delusional. It's only crazy until you actually become successful.
Yeah,
That's the
everyone
big
thought
thing.
Elon Musk was crazy for
Yeah.
starting SpaceX, for starting rockets, for starting Tesla, which competing against these legacy car companies. And now he's a genius because it works. Same thing with Mr. Beast. Everyone thought he was crazy because he was doing YouTube for 8+ years with nothing. All his friends, his mom didn't realize what he's doing. And now he's the biggest YouTuber in the world. And everyone's hailing him as a genius. And he literally says, if you watch his interviews, he's like, everyone thought I was crazy for the first 8 years. And then at some point, they started calling me a genius. And he was like, he just found that so funny because he's doing the same thing, but just people are perceiving him differently now that he was successful.
Exactly. And I think sometimes we get too caught up on the fact that it really is so crazy that our goals, they're so far away from us. Like you want to get to 100,000 subscribers. Like how am I supposed to do this? It's insane. But like you just said, it's like you just boil it down to what? Make a video. It's like you can make it one video. You can make the next video that you make a little bit better. So I think the big thing that I've found for setting big goals for myself is just to be able to break these different goals down into actionable steps. That's something that I do whenever I write my blogs. And I want to mention one blog specifically, and then I'll go a little bit more in depth with some of it. But one blog, I had the opportunity to go and sit down with New York Times best-selling author and motivational speaker on leadership, Dr. John C. Maxwell. We had this
Ah,
opportunity at High Point. I don't know if you've heard of him before and seen some of his books on leadership, but fantastic. I got 6 insights from him. I have three or two blogs of 3 insights in each of them up on the website, exceptionalundergrads.com. You guys should all definitely go check that out. But insight number 2, shameless plug, and I'm getting good at this
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But
That's smooth.
insight number 2 in this blog, in the first blog, is you're only as good as your last book. And what he says is that we need to develop a mindset that we build our reputation daily. And you do this through your daily actions. So these actions that you take daily build your character, and this character builds your reputation. And you do this through continuous improvement of each thing. So like you shouldn't put out a video unless it's actually better than the next one, where you're pushing yourself and you're doing really well. Where it's either I don't want to say like matching that quality, but it's definitely not worse. If you're putting out something that you think is worse or it's not that good, come on, bro. Like don't bother. Like put out the stuff because you're only good as your last book. Only as good as your last book. That reminded me of that. But what I do as well on the blogs is I try to break things down for people and give them different actionable steps. Because that's what I think about it in myself. Because if you have these actionable steps that you can just take and just go for it immediately, like that's why it's action, like actionable steps. You can take action on them immediately. Where you'll be able to do something. Like one of the last ones that I put out, this was like a week ago. I'm just looking at a random one. But under this section, it's like embracing a growth mindset. This is on the blog, cultivating a student mindset to accelerate learning and growth. So I have more about speaking about how, the importance of a growth mindset, and then actionable steps like reframe challenges, opportunities for growth. Embrace failures as learning opportunities, not as reflections of innate abilities. And it's like small things like that, where this one's on mindset, so it's a little bit different, but just different ways that you can immediately take action today on things. Because I feel like we sometimes complicate things so much whenever what we really need to know and do is just something extremely small. It's like the 2-minute rule from James Clear's book Atomic Habits. Have you looked into this
Mm,
at all?
of course. Yeah, big
Do you want
fan.
to talk about it a bit?
Yeah, I
You should let
mean,
them know.
well, first of all, I think that you hit it right on the head. Like, you never fail as long as you learn from your failures, and if you just keep going. And I think James Clear and his book is just so good because he talks about the power of just doing just small little things and just continually doing that, and the powers of that compounding effect of just just continually just doing these small things and just uh, just doing it and getting better and better over time. And the 2 minute rule is basically the idea that if you just start doing something for 2 minutes, just do something for 2 minutes. Anyone can do that. Once you're in, once you're doing it, uh, and then it makes things easier to continue to doing because you're already doing that thing or whatever that thing is, and then you're just doing, and then you can just do it for more, like 10 minutes, and then you can do it for 30 minutes. And something that I really like about his book is that in order to like really create these habits of whatever you want, like to work out or to make videos, is that you have to do these small things to prove to yourself that you're the type of person to do that. He talks about the importance of the mentality change, and that was a big thing for me because like for working out, maybe I struggled working out consistently for a while because I'll have like one bad day and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't go work out because I'm not gonna get my maximum pump because today's a bad day. But that put into my mind, I'm the type of person that's going to skip working out. And every single time, I ended up not being able to work out consistently. But it's only now that I've been able to get into this mindset that all my actions, no matter how small, are so important in the grand scheme of things that I've been able to work out consistently. Because like especially like this last week, my shoulder wasn't feeling the best. So the normal Athan would have just been skipping this whole week. But I was like, no, I'm not the type of person that skips my workouts. So I went to work out every single week today. I took it much lighter than I normally do. But I did that just to prove to myself that I'm the type of person that always works out no matter what. And I've been able to stay consistent for for many months now. Yeah, James Clear, amazing book. Just such a great book.
Do you have any other books that you'd recommend to people that have helped you develop habits or just been impactful for you in general?
I mean, I have so many books. I'm constantly reading and constantly learning. I'll say a couple. The first is probably The Third Door. I don't know if you read that.
I haven't. I haven't heard of that one
Oh
at
my
all.
gosh, you have to read The Third Door. It's so good. It's so good. So that book is basically about the idea that in anything you want in life, there's three doors. And if we were to compare success to like a club, right? The first door is the main entrance, and this is the entrance that everyone takes. And the line to this entrance is, around the block, wrapping around. It's everyone goes to this entrance, right? So that's the first door. The second door is the entrance reserved for celebrities and rich people, right? It's like that secret door, that back door that you can only get in if you're rich or you're a celebrity. But the third door is you like going through a window, like going through the kitchen and like forcing your way into this club. And that third door always exists. You can always, with your effort, get whatever you want in life. And I don't know, when I read that, I was just, my mind was blown because that showed me like anything I want in life, I can get if I'm willing to put in the effort. It's an amazing book. And then the second book I'm actually reading right now is Elon Musk's biography. And I'm a big fan of like reading the biographies of very successful people. This one's great. I don't know if you've read it yet, but
I
it's by
haven't yet.
Walter Isaacson. Walter, he did the biography for Steve Jobs, which is another
Knew it.
just amazing book.
I recognized that guy, his name, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he writes other biographies. So that one's got
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
really good because I've heard good things about the Steve Jobs one.
Yeah, no, it's amazing because the thing is, Walter, he literally spends like years with these people. He spent like a couple years with Steve Jobs, just being his shadow to really get to know him. And he did the same thing with Elon Musk. And he doesn't let Steve Jobs or Elon Musk like interfere with his writing at all. He writes it exactly how he sees it, and he's able to really capture these insanely successful people's lives and his insights on how they function and how they've become able to be as highly successful as they have been are just very, very valuable for someone like me that wants to have like a fraction of their success. So yeah, currently reading his biography. It's really, really good. Would recommend it to anyone.
I love that. I'm gonna check out the third door or the three doors one. What was that book called again? Was it just the
The
three
third
doors?
door. The
The
third
third
door.
door.
And so it's about this guy, this young guy. He's like he's our age in college, and he has this dream to have to make this book where he interviews all the most highly successful people in the world. Bill Gates, uh, the Buffett guy, literally all these insane mega celebrities. What's his name? Walter Buffett?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. See, I was gonna
I
say
just
Walter. I
I
was
love the I love the Buffett guy. I don't know why this thing isn't focusing. The Buffett guy is such a fantastic line because it could be like the other guy, Jimmy Buffett or whatever, the like guitar guy or whatever, the musician. But I know
I
you're
don't
talking about
know.
Warren Buffett, but that would be hilarious.
No, see, I thought of Walter, and I don't want to say Walter Buffett because I knew that was wrong, but I knew Buffett, so I was like the Buffett guy.
I need to find a way to get this thing to. There we
Okay,
go.
you got it. You got it. There
Nice.
you go. No,
that's
but yeah,
that's
it's
so funny.
but yeah,
Continue.
not anyone can talk to the Buffett guy, especially
Mhm.
just a random kid in college. But he was able to do that, and he was able to talk with a lot of influential people because he took the third door. He just put in so much effort into reaching these people. He ends up finding this very influential mentor. His name is Elliot Bisnow, and Elliot runs this conference. Uh, and the conference is made of some of the most successful people in the world, and they'll always come to hear people speak and whatever. And Elliot helps connect him with all these amazing people, and he just has this amazing story. But the reason I bring this up is because I actually got into contact with Elliot Bisnow. He's in my contacts now because this
How'd that
guy
happen?
is incredible. It's a lot of stories, but Elliot, he's kind of known as an amazing mentor. And actually, when this book came out, he gets hundreds of messages every day from people reading the book wanting to contact him because they heard what he did for the author and they want him to do that for himself. And one day, one of my friends, we're talking. He's another fellow content creator, and he's talking about how he was talking to Elliot Bisnow, which was like the craziest thing to me. I was like, "How did you get in contact with Elliot Bisnow?" And he was telling me this story, and then he was telling me that Elliot wanted him to come to Spain with him and do this like week-long hike or whatever, because Elliot's crazy like that. He loves experiential things. He loves to push people out of their comfort zone. And he did that for the author of the book. He does that for anyone that reaches out to him and that he can tell is like motivated. So when I heard that story, I was like, hey, what if I try to reach out to Elliot? Because, I have my thing going on and I'd love to speak with him. And it turns out a bunch of my friends actually know Elliot because, I'm friends with, or I've been able to find people that are very motivated. And so, of course, they've run into him one way or another. So I email Elliot. I tell him kind of what I'm doing, and just kind of just shoot my shot basically. And like a few days later, he responds to me, and he's like, "Hey, if you find someone that you can mentor in the next week, and you find okay, let me start that part over." So I emailed him. I say, hey, my name is Athan. I'm a college student. I'm a YouTuber. Saw you in Third Door. Would really love to chat at some point. And he responded in like 3 days, which is like the craziest thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And as is typical for Elliot, he responded with a challenge for me. And he basically wanted to see if like I was like really dedicated because so many people message him and what he wants is people that actually kind of want it. So he gives me a challenge. It's basically to find someone on YouTube. I told him I was a YouTuber, and he respected that I had whatever 2,000 subs at the time, and he was like, "Okay, I'm sure you have something to help. I'm sure you have some wisdom that you could share to other people that are even smaller than you." And he's like, "Okay, if you can find someone in the next week who you can share your wisdom with, I will get back to you very quickly, and we'll start talking." And little did he know, I'm constantly doing that. I have so many people that I'm like mentoring and trying to give value to. So that was literally like the easiest challenge he could have given me. And and so like within the next day, I found like 5 people that I could help and that I actually am still in contact with to this day. Um, and and I guess the end of the story is that I talked with Elliot, told him about my dreams and my that I'm in Japan now, and he kind of gave me advice on how to succeed. And I really couldn't have done that unless I read The Third Door and just realized the power of putting in effort to kind of get what you want.
That's awesome. That's super inspiring. That reminds me of, especially at the end here, when you said that you started to help other people and you were already doing that anyways. And you're like, this is the easiest challenge in the entire world for me. This is easy because you're already doing it. That's in the success principles. It's something that Jack Canfield says, which is like helping other people become successful will help you become successful because you're, like we said beforehand, just bringing up other people as well. And I think that that's so valuable. And that's something that some people sometimes forget that I think should be like at the front of everyone's minds, which is kind of brings us a little bit full circle here where we started. Maybe not started off with, but had earlier, which is just the fact that it's not a zero sum game here in life. Like you can help other people be successful and then also become successful. Just because you're friends with somebody who does something that's kind of similar to you, that doesn't mean that they're inherently taking away from your success. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I think that just goes to show you exactly what the third word is talking about, which is just if you keep going and you put in that effort, you find a way. That's something that my coach always would tell me. My baseball coach in high school, he just like scream at us, like figure it out, like figure it out. Like, come on, go
Yeah,
for it. And
exactly.
it's like as simple as that command, like that, like being yelled at saying that is being yelled, figure it out at the entire time. If you just like slowly just like stop for a second, think about it, and you're just like, all right, I got to figure this out. How am I going to do this? And you just figure it out. You find a way, and you end up with these stories like you have, where you're like, I got in contact with the guy. I did it. I completed the challenge. I was able to do this, and now I have an amazing story. That's so awesome. I'm so glad that we made it to that, and I was able to hear this story.
It's just like Nike's "Just Do It," or I have a
Exactly.
phrase where I say my phrase is "Just get good." I just tell that to myself, just get good. Uh, and I feel like I love that you brought it up because I resonate so much with it. But I also feel like in this day and age, a lot of people are so soft. So in some ways, it's actually like controversial to say like just be better because a lot of people have kind of maybe or I don't want to like be controversial or anything, but I just think that maybe sometimes people aren't confident with themselves and as a way of coping they're like telling themselves they can't do it. So when someone says like no you can do it, just put in more effort, that like goes against their coping mechanisms and then they start to get angry and they lash out on social media and everything. But no, I'm all for just if it's not working, just try harder until it does work. And because in every single instance that I've done that, it has worked when I just try harder. Um, but for some reason, that's I don't know a little controversial in today's age.
Even though it's like facts, like just
Yeah,
if you want something, put in some work for it. Look at all the other people that have done this stuff before, and they always have like arcs or seasons of their life where they had to just put their head down and work or make sure that they're grinding and working on things, even if they didn't take out the effort of like whatever it is, like cutting off a bunch of people or whatever, and like going in and doing stuff. Even if they didn't do that, or they had it, or they went back to other stuff, there's always times where were focused and worked. And it's like, how did you get this stuff? Like this, you're on YouTube. Are you familiar with the guy Iman Gaji?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. There's an edit that I'll watch sometimes, and I don't know the exact thing. I'm not going to pull it up now, but it's him basically on camera from like years ago, whenever he just started out watching on YouTube, and it's him basically saying like, answering questions of like, how can you afford this stuff? Because he bought like some $1,000 whatever it was. I don't know the exact thing. I don't really pay attention to that. It's the line that he says afterwards, which is, it's very simple, guys. Like, my parents didn't help me. Nothing happened. Like, my mom didn't help me buy this or whatever. I simply worked for it. And he got it. And now he's worth like, I don't know, millions upon millions of dollars because he just puts in a bunch of work. And it's like, yeah, it's only controversial because it's hard. It seems like it's hard. And if you want to be an exceptional undergrad, you want to be exceptional in whatever it is, it's embracing the fact that things are going to be hard and just doing it anyways. And I don't know if I'm an exceptional undergrad or not. I don't know. I just go out and try and find them so I can learn from them like you. But I think embracing the mentalities of people like yourself and other people who I've had on the podcast to kind of understand that. I think, finding stuff from other resources and whatnot, I think it points us to the fact where, if you want something, work for it, get it, figure it out,
That's all it is.
get
That's
good.
all it is. Just get good.
Just get good.
Exactly.
All right. Athan, you're the man. This is super fun. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with everybody today? I know we covered a bunch.
I guess my one message for everyone out there, if you could do one thing after listening to this podcast, it's subscribe to my channel. Please. I'd appreciate it. We're building something great over here, so would love to have you on the journey.
Awesome, brother. All right. Well, I had a fantastic time. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you again soon.
Likewise had so much fun. Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed another episode of Exceptional Undergrads. If you found inspiration in today's episode, head over to our website, exceptionalundergrads.com, for more resources and show notes from all of our episodes. We're always looking for new undergrads to have on the show. If you'd like to be featured, hit the Apply Here page on our website. We'll get back to you soon. And as always, be the exception.